allowed to pony your eye?
Yeah, I read it.
Awesome. Leslie decided that house where she lost her glasses is jinxed for her.
Well, Andrew thinks that there's a house that's jinxed for him too. He won't go to that. He wants somebody else always to go.
Well, I can't remember what happened the first time they were out there.
I don't know.
I don't remember either, darn it. But then her glasses disappeared.
Well, she fell down a damn hill.
Well, what are you gonna do? It happens. But that's because she
She
not
go,
even her fault.
go,
She
go, go.
Yes, she is so focused. She is so. I mean, that girl takes in everything. I mean, she is going to be so good. She pays more attention than anybody I have ever seen. She soaks it up like a sponge. She asks
She has a
questions. She
memory.
takes a stupid question and makes it sound like a good question. I mean, she is going to be such an out of this world plumber. It is not to be believed. Not to be believed.
I agree.
So, but that's what happens when you homegirl your own. I mean, they're all going to study and go to school and take their tests in December. Together. All
They
three
need
of
to
them.
do it together
All three of
because,
them.
and I even told Ian that if he wanted to, he is more than welcome to come to me, and I would sit and go through that code book with him and do like I did, help him.
All of us, me, you, Kim, Catherine, can take turns helping them, coaching them.
We can have a big thing at the house, man.
The three of them together. I mean, that's 3 more licensed puppies. That we have. I mean, well, but we grew them from not. I mean, you weren't talking about making.
I know.
It doesn't get any better than to have these kids come with a little bit of heart and train them from only knowing that you turn the faucet on and water comes out, okay? And you flush the toilet and doo-doo goes away, okay? That's all they know, except that they don't have what it takes maybe to do technical stuff out there, in the world. They want to do something with their lives. They come in here and we raise them.
We raise them.
We raise them. They become
We can build them.
We do build them.
I know.
And they are so skilled and so. It's just amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at David. Okay.
David's come a long way.
Okay, David was almost on the streets, and now you can't put him in front of a tankless heater that he can't fix. It just clicked for him. It just worked so perfect. I mean, that's definitely David's forte.
Yes.
And that kid's got so much heart. And I think every little old person he goes to reminds him of his grandparents.
I think you're right.
And he just, it's just perfect. I just absolutely love it. I just can't wait for them to all be out there. They have so much to offer. They're so good. And I think bouncing them around.
I think that they all have different, I won't say skill levels because they're all at the point where they're semi-skilled. I think they all have different learning curves, let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah. Different things that they pick up quicker and fortes, and the things that click for them easier than other things. That's all of us. I mean, plumbing is so vast. I mean, I wish it was as easy as a can of glue and a hacksaw.
I wish it was.
I do wish it was that easy.
I wish it was too. It's not.
No, not at all. No, it takes. I mean, they're 3 years code, right? Code says, or the law, or whatever it is, says that they have to. You don't see half of what you need to see in 3 years. I don't know, Michelle, how these.
Why did they change it?
To get your license.
It used to be you had to apprentice for 5 years.
To get your master's, they actually misread the law. They were interpreting the law incorrectly for a lot of years. So a lot of people managed in between there. But I don't know how those other companies, they're like. I know that there's a bunch of them that say they're licensed and they're not. I get that, okay? But what about the guys? I mean, they're cranking out they're putting guys out there that don't have the experience. How do they do that? I mean, I make their education a reality. They're going to work on a truck for as long as it takes until they're ready. They're going to work with each of these other guys, each of these other girls, all of the plumbers until they learn from every one of them. Leslie's already said, Andrew does this different from Catherine, so I've learned this now. And this or that or whatever, and then she'll go and she'll work with. Well, she's already worked with David before, but she'll work with Kim and she'll learn systems. And But how do these other guys do it? How do they take a guy that is not skilled and put him out there to call themselves plumbers?
Because they stick him in a 6-week training program. And then they let them loose. Missy, that's what they do.
I don't know. But, that's, thank God for them. Because that's so much of our business.
Well, I mean, I was telling Leon yesterday, I was like, we don't do like other people do. I said, if we can't find somebody that meshes with us, the way that we need them to, we will grow our own.
We do.
And raise our own.
And we water them and we fertilize them.
And we nurture them and we blow carbon dioxide on them. I mean,
grow! Hurry up! We need you!
But, I mean, that's what I was telling him yesterday. And he's like, well, that's kind of an interesting way that you do that because there's not a lot of people that do that.
No, because it costs us money. It costs us money to train them. I'm paying them to learn.
Basically.
They're not productive yet.
No.
I mean, they do help, but they're not, especially at the beginning, they cost you more than anything. They don't even know what a screwdriver is or, excuse me. I don't know. I think it's wonderful. I know, but by the time they get out in that truck, they know what they need to know, And then they may not be as fast, but again, fast is a non-issue for us, That's why I prefer flat rate over time and material, because then you pay unskilled people more than you do highly skilled.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, it's like, I'm sorry if it only took me 15 minutes. So we make it look easy. When I first started, it took me 3 hours. My first toilet, did I ever tell you this? The first toilet I ever rebuilt took me 3.5 hours. I'm so embarrassing now. I can rebuild them in my sleep, okay, in 10 minutes, or my eyes closed. And my first one was 3.5 hours. I flooded this poor old man's bathroom 3 times. Yes. You are so nervous out there, and da-da-da-da-da.
I put a hole in some.
But there's no pressure. Without being on a clock, there's no pressure, It's the same price. If it takes an hour, it takes 3 hours.
I did that one time.
They're not under pressure.
I didn't quite flood anything, but I had to replace the sink. I was trying to, this kitchen faucet would not come off. And I had to cut it off. And you couldn't get it from up top. You can get them partially and raise it up, but you couldn't get it to come all the way, like the nuts to come all the way off. So I tried to do it from the top. I couldn't get it up high enough to get my blade under it, so I had to go underneath and do it from there. And as I'm sawing, it pops through the one and hits the side of the sink, and I went, oh, crap! Daddy! I just put a hole in this lady's sink. I gotta replace it. Okay, do what you gotta do. Okay. It's well, she was happy she got a new sink.
Ways of fancy tools that let you do, we came up in such a different place than they today.
We did.
Yeah. I mean, you had to make tools to do what you needed to do. It's interesting. But
I miss the old days when me and you used to ride together.
Things happen, you grow. You make me and you out in the field now. We make us out there. We clone ourselves to whatever extent it actually works.
Oh, he would be second.
Yes, ma'am.
I have an emergency, Andrew. 1.
Excuse me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please.
Hey. Okay. Right. Uh-huh. Get the mud out, okay? Oh, she's going to get the mud out today? That sounds so funny, get the mud out. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe she doesn't realize that. Are we looking at rain? Because, I mean, this is like a non-issue if we're not looking at a downpour or
It's supposed to
deluge
rain
in the next
today.
few days.
It's supposed to rain today.
You know? Let me pull up the weather. I mean, if we're not looking at a frog strangler, she should be, I mean, you know, I have never had a sump pump be a critical.
Get the mud out.
Well, do you see watermarks higher up on the furnace than what there is? Okay. Oh, well, we've got a chance of showers continuously, I think.
The next few days.
Oh, yeah, last night was awful. Oh, my God.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, my cameras. It was. My cameras were they did not, you know, because I get alerts every time something changes on the camera. It was continuous for about an hour. That thing was just bleep, 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 bleep. I mean, unreal. You know, my first thought every time we have a frog strangler, oh my God, I hope all of those sump pumps work. That's always my first thought. Oh my God. The sump pumps, the sump pumps.
The sump pumps, the sump pumps.
We're all isolated and scattered. I mean, none of it is a big deal. 30-30, 40-30, and we have that all summer long because that's what it is. Well, and you know, the other side of that, if it's a really big issue, why can't we just take something and put it in a bucket, drill some holes in it with some, and just stick it in there? Do you know what I'm saying? Huh?
Temporary like.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying. Just for the short term, and that way we're not under pressure. If we get one of those big square Rubbermaid containers, drill some holes in the bottom, put some gravel in it, and set the sump pump in it. Set that into the mud that's there, and pipe it out. And then let her get the mud cleared out, and then we'll make her a sump pit, and there's no pressure. Okay, let's do that. I have buckets. We can use the same pump we're going to put into her pit. And I have some pump. I have the corrugated hose kits. Yeah, let's just do that. And I have a corrugated hose kit, and you have the gravel, so just come and get a bucket. Because then the water will come into there, and it'll hold the mud out, and it'll work until we get the pit made. No pressure. If that's what Elizabeth told you, sure. I'm not a pressure girl. Okay, cool. Bye.
Somebody can go tomorrow. There's nothing wrong.
That's the end of that problem.
Yeah, there's
Crisis averted.
Somebody can do something over there tomorrow.
He said he can't go tomorrow.
David had a first call tomorrow, but they rescheduled.
Well,
for
let's see what
Tuesday.
happens. We'll settle the scheduling after he talks to her, because this is going to be a temporary thing, so we're not under pressure. Because what happens, God forbid, she can't find somebody to get the mud out. They said that they were literally sinking almost waist deep. Okay? Yes, in mud.
From what?
It's a pit under the house. It's a pit. It's a 10 by 10 pit that's full of water. Okay, so we're looking at it.
Who's
We have no
walking in
idea.
it?
Huh?
Who's in it?
Who's in it right now? Nobody. I mean, the furnace is in it. The water heaters were in it. We put in a tankless.
Who's waist deep in it?
Andrew and Leslie. It's a 10 by 10 pit under the house. The water heaters were in it. The furnace was in it. We since pulled the water heaters out and put a tankless in. The furnace is still there. The furnace guys want to suspend it up out of that.
That's
but
what
we're
they're
supposed to be
gonna have
putting
to do.
in a sump pit, ma'am. Oh, we're supposed to be putting in a sump pit, But we can't because she's got this much mud, and she's got to get the mud out because we got to get down to solid dirt to dig the hole, gravel, concrete,
right.
the whole nine. And she's freaking out because of the rain. I mean, and they have no air conditioning because they can't, you know.
Oh God, I'd be miserable.
So tragedy averted. I told him, come get a bucket, like a big Rubbermaid. We'll drill holes in it. We'll put gravel in it. We'll set the pump in it. We'll set that down into the mud that she's got. Pump it to the outside until she gets the mud out.
Okay.
And then we're not under pressure at that point too. But he said Tuesday for David maybe could get in there. He said yesterday that worked. I don't know if it still does. But that would be absolutely wonderful.
David has a first call and then I think an after 2 or 3.
I don't know. But we'll do something. I just think that'll absolutely work.